First at 4, Mask Up Michigan. That's the message Governor Whitmer is pushing with all-star help from the state's universities. Here's Dr. McGeorge.
If you doubt face masks can help stop the spread of COVID-19, stay right here. I'll have the story of 2 hairstylists who got sick and what didn't happen that got the attention of the CDC.
And the heat is starting to inch up. We're seeing a little bit more on the thermometer, but we've also got thunderstorm chances starting tonight. We'll look at all that right now, first at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, when Governor Whitmer offers a COVID update, you see it live on Local 4, and we dive into what it means as quickly as possible. So first, take a look at the startling new numbers today. Michigan has recorded 891 new cases. That's just in the past 24 hours. That's the highest daily total since May 14th. Also, there have been 4 additional deaths. Today, Wayne State University is mapping out plans for its fall semester, which will be a mix of in-person and remote learning. The University of Michigan announced there will be no football season tickets or sales to the general public if there is a football season at all. Today, Governor Whitmer turned to the world of college sports to get more people to use face masks. Kimberly Gill with that part of the story live in our newsroom. Kim.
Yeah, hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. Today, Governor Whitmer enlisted the help of some well-known coaches from both Michigan State and the University of Michigan to get more residents to mask up. The governor started with a video to get people more motivated to wear the face masks. But then she got down to business, saying, "We're at a turning point in the battle against the virus." She says daily COVID numbers now exceed 20 cases per million in Detroit, Kalamazoo, Saginaw, Jackson, and Upper Peninsula regions, plus 40 cases per million in Grand Rapids. She doesn't like the numbers she's seeing, and she says masking up is the key to stopping the virus, and not wearing masks could be devastating.
So if Michiganders don't mask up when we're going out in public, cases could rise and we could be forced to close down more of our businesses, including auto manufacturing plants that employ thousands of Michigan workers.
I've been proud to live in this state for my entire life, but I have been a little disappointed how some of the Michiganders have handled some things lately. There's no task that we can't handle, especially when we tackle it together. So I'm asking everyone to join me in wearing a mask, us in wearing a mask.
Now, the governor also says wearing those face masks is the key to reopening schools in the fall, which we know a lot of parents are really worried about. So the governor spoke for nearly an hour. We'll dig into more of her concerns when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. For now, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Sure.
Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan announces more help is available for city residents trying to avoid evictions during the pandemic. Governor Whitmer's executive order banning evictions is set to expire tonight. The mayor announced $6 million more are being added to a fund that now totals $11 million to help Detroiters stay in their homes. That money pays for programs to offer residents legal and financial help.
United Community Housing Coalition has got lawyers for you if the landlord is evicting you in a way that is legally inappropriate. We'll get good lawyers for you. You do have to pay what you can afford to pay, but there are also programs that will help pay off parts of your back rent.
Now, the city has set up a hotline, also a website for Eviction Help. We have all that information on our website. Click on Detroit.com. Well, there is so much uncertainty over this pandemic that is headed all across the country. Today, Arizona, Texas, and Florida combined to report 25,000 cases of the virus just in those 3 states. The 2021 Rose Parade in Pasadena was canceled. The Republican governor of Oklahoma has tested positive. Kevin Stitt favored an aggressive reopening and rarely wears a face mask in public. The CDC is no longer in charge of the coronavirus numbers. Instead, the Trump administration set up a new system, which is raising some concerns among some health experts. Governor Whitmer's recent executive order requires face masks in public places here in Michigan, but retailers like Walmart have a lot of influence on customers across the country as we deal with safety precautions for COVID-19. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester shows us how the rules are changing at more and more stores.
This is a big move by Walmart, and those watching this believe that other retailers are going to follow suit. Here's the bottom line. If you're trying to make your way into a Walmart store, whether here in Metro Detroit or any location across the country, if you are not wearing a mask as you make your way inside, you will be asked to leave. Walmart saying this is all being done not only to protect you, the shopper, but also the thousands of employees across the country. Here's what you need to know if you shop at Walmart or Sam's Club beginning on Monday. That new mask rule goes into effect Monday, July 20th. It applies at Walmart, Sam's Club. There are 5,000 locations nationwide and obviously here in Metro Detroit. Walmart also bringing in health ambassadors. They will greet you at the door. They will provide information about the mask. Other retailers, we're told, could follow suit. In a statement, a spokesperson for Walmart says ambassadors will receive special training to help make the process as smooth as possible for customers. They will work with those who show up at the store without a face covering to find a solution that works for everyone. And we're told that if you make your way into a Walmart location, you don't have a face covering, the health ambassador will offer one to you to wear while you are shopping. Again, the retailer saying this is just an opportunity to work to not only make the customers, but the employees safe. We're here in Troy. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
All right, let's still stay on this face mask topic, and many people have wondered just how effective cloth masks can really be. While there have been some limited studies, the CDC says one real-life example is demonstrating exactly why they're now convinced even homemade masks can be an effective tool in the fight. Dr. Frank McGeorge here to explain.
Hair salons were among the last businesses to reopen because of concerns about prolonged close contact between stylists and customers. But what happened at one hair salon is now published in a CDC report and may be our best case study yet of how masks make a difference. On May 12th, the hairstylist at Great Clips in Springfield, Missouri, developed symptoms of COVID-19. The stylist continued to work for 8 more days until receiving a positive test result. A second stylist also developed symptoms during that time and also continued working until their coworker tested positive. During that time, the infected stylists worked directly on 139 clients. The stylists and their clients were following city and company policy and had worn their cotton face masks or surgical style masks. Just 5 customers had worn N95 masks. Based on testing and interviews, none of the clients or their close contacts or the other stylists at the salon became infected. Researchers believe the consistent use of face coverings prevented the spread. So how did the first stylist infect the second? Well, the co-workers spent time together without masks on between clients. Contact tracers also found the first stylist spread the virus to her husband, daughter, son-in-law, and their roommate, who all lived in the same household. Back to you.
Very interesting results there. Thanks, Doctor. Remember, we have an entire page dedicated to the coronavirus at clickondetroit.com. We dive deeper into those numbers and post updates as they happen. Local 4 and Click on Detroit, we've got you covered. It's a combination we got used to last week. High heat with a side of rain. Let's check in with Ben Bailey for the first forecast. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, we're about to ladle on some of that rain tonight, but as of right now, we are dry and should finish at least the daylight portion of today that way. 86 now in Metro. We've inched up just above average. A little bit more of a breeze, and it is coming out of the south today. Here's Storm Tracker 4 as we're watching some showers and thunderstorms just starting to move into the Chicagoland area, and those are going to continue to march east overnight. So we will be seeing some activity by midnight, but that's likely going to be in the west zone. Most of those showers and thunderstorms are going to be overnight through the first half of tomorrow. We'll talk more on timing and see how long those 90s are going to hold off, all in just a few minutes. Karen.
All right, thank you, Ben. Still ahead, one fast food giant is doing something new to fight climate change. It's going straight to the source of its biggest burger. On the other hand, take a look at this devastating flood disaster. We'll talk about how humans are making scenes like this even worse. Up first, a mother is called a hero for protecting her children. Even the police chief struggled for words.
It's just one of those cases that really hits you in the heart as a law enforcement officer, or even a human being.
You won't forget the story of what happened outside this medical center. It's next, first at 4.